We got a lot to cover in this video on this live stream, whichever one it ends up being for you. 5 takeaways from Wisconsin's Supreme Court race and Florida's special elections. Democrats scored a critical win in their first major test at the ballot box since President Trump took office in January. Elon Musk says he paid Ashley St. Clair $2.5 million for alleged child. Elon Musk said he gave Ashley St. Clair $2.5 million, as well as continued annual payments of $500,000 after she accused, according to E! News, former second gentleman Doug Emhoff's law firm's latest to strike deal with Trump, and the firm that employs former Vice President Kamala Harris's husband is the latest legal powerhouse to agree to terms with President. LA Times says mortgage rates are falling. That's just an ad from NerdWallet. Trump's Liberation Day tariffs may send prices for these 3 common household products higher. Household durable goods could see prices go much higher depending on the severity of new Trump tariffs. Val Kilmer, star of Batman Forever, Tombstone, dies at 65. Val Kilmer, who played Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever, he was in Top Gun, Maverick. And Target follows Costco and Walmart's lead on tariffs. Target is reportedly pushing its Chinese suppliers to absorb some of the cost of U.S. tariffs, which later on you guys are going to see exactly how much these tariffs are going to cost us day to day, specifically from former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. House cancels rest of the week or votes for week after GOP floor rebellion. When a terrorist killed 8 people in Manhattan, a jury didn't vote to execute him. Luigi Mangioni's odds, perhaps. A New York jury voted against the death penalty for a man who killed 8 people. Luigi Mangioni's, this is a Business Insider exclusive. The return of dumb things, while young people are ditching their smartphones for MP3 players and digital cameras in lieu of iPhones. Nostalgic, I guess. Yahoo Life. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says almost everyone he talks to is more anxious about the economy. How about you guys? Fink's letter comes as Wall Street recession odds spike over concerns of looming tariffs. We were lied to. 2 women the Trump administration tried to send to El Salvador prison speak out. The women's accounts raise new questions about the roughness of administration's vetting of migrants. And that is an interesting one. I was actually thinking of potentially titling this 40 Years a Criminal. And I'd love to get you guys' take and opinion on a story that came across my feed. And granted, depending on how the media spins it, which you're going to see more of that media spin here in a minute with Abby Phillip and CNN. But Newsweek says, and it paints this picture. It says a 50-year-old Texas mother who has lived in the United States for nearly 4 decades was detained outside of her house by federal immigration agents, leaving her family devastated and fighting for her release. So I get it. I hear the story. I understand the perspective and angle that it's coming from. But I'm just kind of curious, like, does it matter that she's 50 years old? Or better yet, does it matter that she's been in this country for 40 years, 4 decades, albeit illegally? Is it okay for you to essentially be not responsible for the crimes that you commit as long as you commit them long enough without having getting caught? Is that what we're trying to present here as two wrongs will make it right? Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, full story on Newsweek. You guys can check it out. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Outside of that, Mexico is dumping raw sewage into our country.
So you see how pretty the beaches are out here in San Diego, but don't be deceived. There's actually raw sewage in the water, and it's coming from Mexico. They've got these signs warning people. Apparently the locals know about this. It's been going on for a long time, but Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico, is sending their raw sewage down the Tijuana River right into San Diego. Goes right into San Diego County and then feeds out into the ocean.
The Mexican authorities are not doing what they were supposed to do. Sewage was not supposed to be part of the deal.
The smell out here is just, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
You see the trash, but people watching this cannot, it is so smelly.
Well, there's about 25 million gallons of sewage running through this. When it rains heavily, like a few days ago, the dilution was better, so the smell was not as bad, but this is year-round.
Does the change in presidents have an impact with Trump in charge now?
Not yet.
Do you think it will?
I hope so. This is an issue that is not being addressed.
Well, unfortunately, Tijuana's been growing. It's a border community in Mexico, and a lot of people who come from other parts of the world to come across our border. A lot of them, take up homesteads if they can't get across in Tijuana, and their facilities just can't handle the capacity. And unfortunately, they've got this huge culvert that goes through their cities, and everything gets thrown in there, all of the trash, and it flows into the U.S.
So their trash becomes our problem.
For many years, it's been our problem. So we're trying to solve it, and we have not had the cooperation of Mexico yet.
So, yeah. Oh, and a recap of the Tesla takedown. Check this out.
Oh, yeah. This is today is the day that Tesla was supposed to go down. Tesla takedown day. Apparently, it was being promoted by Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. And I just want to say that today did not go the way that Jasmine Crockett wanted it to. And all these politicians who are against DOGE and Elon and, of course, Trump. And, of course, she said that, Tesla takedown, hashtag Tesla takedown was supposed to happen on March 29th. Well, I don't know. Doesn't seem like that went well. Apparently, there's a truck that came through. These are all the protests. Where the hell are the protesters? What happened?
Oh, here he comes again. Wow.
Oh, he's trolling them. Oh, my God. They got a MAGA truck with YMCA trolling the protesters. And apparently this is awesome. This is an awesome patriot. His truck just kept looping around. So he just kept going back and back and just trolling these people protesting.
Look at that American truck right there. Wow.
Yo, he just kept looping and looping back and forth, trolling these people. Oh, we got, what is this like? We got the purple hair. We got the blue hair. We got I don't even know what color this is hair. Yeah, they were out there. People were getting trolled as they were protesting. This is supposed to be the biggest Tesla takedown day.
Look, they have their stop Elon Musk, stop the fraud, Nazi Doge. Look at this. Look at him. Nobody elected. But look at all these patriots back behind them. Yeah, look at how dumb they fucking look. Look at how stupid they look. Look at all this.
Yeah, so they went to Tesla. Okay, that makes sense now. They went to Tesla to go protest, but they basically got overflown by a whole bunch of Trump supporters and Elon Musk supporters with American flags.
Americans, look at them all. Loving this country, baby. Yeah, look at them, the patriots, man. They're the patriots. Look at them all. The patriots, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Elon. Thank you.
Wow, look at this.
More fallout from the cuts by Elon Musk and his DOGE team. President Trump got more than 70% of the vote in Wood County, West Virginia last November. But some people who find their federal jobs in limbo now say they regret supporting him. Randy Kay has more.
This flag used to hang there. This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed.
He's a good boy. Pigott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Pigott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged. This woman asked us not to show her face for fear of retribution. She recently retired from the Bureau of Fiscal Service because she was afraid of losing her health insurance if she was fired. She also voted for Trump.
Would you still have supported him?
I'm not sure that I would have. The way that it's been done, I'm for balancing the budget, that type of thing, but not in this context. It's just not right.
Earlier this month, a federal judge ordered half a dozen federal agencies to immediately offer thousands of probationary employees their jobs back. But this week, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to put that judge's ruling on hold and stop those employees from returning to work. Eric Engel is a representative for the National Treasury Employees Union.
They are fully reinstated, all 125 of them. They are on paid admin leave.
Now they're getting paid for not doing their job. So did the government really save any money here?
Not at all. No. That's not. I personally don't believe that was ever the point, but they're not saving any money from these probationary and trial period employee firings. This has nothing to do with eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse.
The Trump administration began mass layoffs of 10,000 staffers at U.S. health agencies, according to Reuters sources. The cuts affect major U.S. health agencies, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Food and Drug Administration, and the National Institutes of Health. While Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has described the cuts as essential to streamlining a bloated bureaucracy, the layoffs, including earlier dismissals, have led to the departures of top scientists at key agencies for public health, cancer research, and drug oversight, raising concerns about how the U.S. will safely oversee the health sector and respond to emergencies. According to one source, an FDA employee said staff had to present their badges at the building entrance, and those who had been fired were given a ticket and told to return home. The ticket, seen by Reuters, listed phone numbers for 10 different departments for employees to call to retrieve their essential equipment. The cuts are part of a broad plan by President Donald Trump and billionaire ally Elon Musk to shrink staffing levels in federal departments and agencies.
I'm very grateful to you and very grateful for the partnership with DOGE, with Elon. We've identified extraordinary waste in my department and HHS. The expenditures, the budget of HHS during the Biden administration went up by 38%. The employees went up by 17%, and healthcare went down. We have 40 comms departments. We have 40 procurement departments. We have 40 IT departments, and we have 40 procurement, HR, none of them talking to each other. We are, with Elon's help, eliminating the redundancies. We are streamlining our department. We're going to go back to providing gold standard science. We're going to get the money to the scientists and to the patients rather than to the administrators and to the bureaucrats. And we're going to restore gold standard science, and we're going to make America healthy again.
My question is about USAID. Has the DOGE team found any evidence that any of the radical left Democrats like Maxine Waters, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer have received money directly from USAID? And if so, will we be hearing about that evidence anytime soon?
Yeah. So there is a massive amount of corruption, but it is circuitous. So what happens is there's money that, obviously it's your taxpayer money, that is then sent to various government organizations who then send it to NGOs which an NGO is a non-governmental organization, but obviously if it's a government-funded non-governmental organization, it's just an organization, it's just a government. And effectively, there's a giant fraud loophole, which is that the government can send money to an NGO that is then no longer governed by the laws of the United States. So they'll send the money overseas to one NGO, then they'll go through a bunch of them, and then I'm highly confident that a bunch of that money then comes back to the United States and lands in the pockets of the people you just mentioned. But it is a circuitous route. It's not like it doesn't go directly, but let's just say that there's a lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress where I'm trying to connect the dots of how did they become rich while earning, how'd they get 20 million if they're earning 200,000 a year? It sounds, nobody can explain that. So something's, yeah, we're going to try to figure it out and certainly stop it from happening. Yeah. I mean, just in general, there's the whole NGO scam is just crazy, yeah, it's blown my mind really. Yeah.
Found out today that somebody that I work with is a conservative, and he's somebody who's really intelligent, and he's somebody who works in climate tech as a super smart guy, somebody I would never have thought was conservative, and apparently he is. And it's surprising and it's disgusting, but what's most surprising to me is the level of sudden hatred that I have for him. Sudden hatred for this man who I used to respect suddenly just went boop, and I hate him now.
Wow, you guys showed up.
Elon, thank you. Go Doge. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Thanks, Elon. Wow, you guys showed up today.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at them all. Look at all those patriots. Look at them all. Oh, and the American flag. And yeah.
Wow, look, they showed up to Tesla to support Doge. I thought today was supposed to be the big day.
Yes, we love Teslas. We sure do. Go Tesla. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they had bikers. They had everything out there. They had bikers. Apparently, as Tesla takedown day was happening, apparently this photo of an older protester who was there to protest Elon, somebody took a picture of him and basically exposed that he had like a script of what he was supposed to be chanting that day. It's literally called large print simplified chant sheet, and it says, Elon Musk, go to Mars, we don't want your swastikas. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that before. It says here, Elon Musk is unelected, democracy must be protected. Yeah, sure, this all seems genuine. Yeah, totally normal. The people united will never be defeated. Hey, ho, ho, President Musk has got to go. You guys have heard that one before. So apparently they have a whole sheet for it. Yeah, kind of knew it wasn't genuine from the beginning. These people are definitely getting paid to be there. But we figured, this is real. This is not AI. This is a real chant sheet that these people have gotten. We will not cooperate with your techno-fascist state. Public workers for... Yeah, then they say, okay, I'm reading that right. Public workers work for us. Can't say that for Elon Musk. Yeah. So you see that? You heard that? Hold on. There's more.
Say, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
And those 401k people who are depending, those retirees, all of that, just talking plain speak with them. Look, when this nation used to go to war, people in this country would support the war effort with their materials at home and making things for weaponry and all of that. We got to do 100% buy-in over this bumpy period. Just communicate.
Taylor.
Harris Faulkner's message to America, and especially to MAGA supporters, about staying strong and fully committed during dips in 401k portfolio values is a solid starting point. So let's break this down and build on it to inform and educate about how investments like a 401k function with fluctuations, and more importantly, why fluctuations happen and the real risks of letting panic drive decisions. A 401k is a long-term investment vehicle typically tied to a mix of stocks, bonds, and other assets, designed to grow your retirement savings over decades. Its value doesn't move in a straight line. It swings, sometimes sharply, because it's tied to the market. And when the economy's humming, your 401k might climb. When uncertainty hits, like inflation spikes, geopolitical tensions, or policy shifts, it can dip. These fluctuations are normal, and historically, the stock market, which heavily influences 401ks, has trended upward over time despite short-term volatility. For example, the S&P 500 has delivered an average annual return of about 10% before inflation since the 1920s, even with crashes like 2008 or the 2020 COVID drop factored in. Here's the key. Those gains only materialize if you stay in the game. Panic selling during a dip, cashing out when your portfolio is down 10, 20% or more, locks in your losses. If you'd held through the 2008 financial crisis, for instance, the market recovered and doubled in value within a decade. Pull out early and you miss that rebound. A $100,000 portfolio that drops to $80K in a downturn could grow to $200,000 or more over 15 years if left alone, assuming historical averages. Sell at $80,000 and you've torched $120,000 in potential gains. And for someone with a $1 million nest egg, the cost of panic could be millions by retirement. Time in the market beats timing the market every time. Now, let's talk about the trap. Volatility spikes fear, and fear drives rash decisions. And that's where the dangers lie. Not just in the market's natural swings, but in how they're weaponized. The left and Democrats, as we've pointed out before, often amplify these dips, painting them as proof of systemic failure or impending doom. It's a playbook. Scare people into doubting their financial security, push them to overreact, and then blame the fallout on greedy capitalists or MAGA policies. If you buy into that narrative and yank your money out, you're not just hurting yourself, you're handing them the chaos that they want. A panic mass sell-off tanks markets further, wipes out wealth, and fuels their argument for more control and quite possibly their own personal net worth growth with some strategic options trades. The risks of knee-jerk reactions are real, and their market manipulations and insider trading too. Beyond locking in losses, you might face tax hits or penalties for early 401k withdrawals, up to 10% if you're under the age of 59 and a half, plus income tax on the distribution. Reinvesting later means buying back in at higher prices after the recovery starts, costing you even more. Emotion-driven moves are the silent killer of retirement savings, so hold the line. Dips are temporary. Growth is the long game. Tune out the noise, especially from those who'd love to see you flinch, and trust the process. Your 401k isn't a casino bet. It's a calculated stake in America's economic engine. Stay committed, and the swings become stepping stones, not sinkholes.
All right, guys, check it out. You now know within the next 24 hours, it's going to get real in terms of the liberation day we have with the reciprocal tariffs being spread all over. Okay, you need to understand. All right, with that comes volatility. Volatility simply means there's a chance, a great chance, to make money in both directions. Okay, so that means you're going to get some good moves to the upside, some good moves to the downside. But guess what? This is a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. I want to break it down for you so that you know where to do and handle your business at from today to tomorrow. Let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, check it out, guys. I'm breaking this down. I got some points, and then we're going to dive into the levels. Number one, buy the rumor. All right, that simply means the rumor, which will be reality come tomorrow, is this liberation day. Okay, That is going to lead to volatility in the stock market, meaning the stock's going to go up. Check out the plays that go up. Check out the plays that will come down, okay?
The Bureau of Fiscal Service employs more than 2,000 people here in Parkersburg. People we spoke with told us it's considered the place to work. Jobs at the Bureau are hard to come by, and people have always believed it was one of the most stable employers. Rhonda Bragg is another probationary employee who was fired from the Bureau. She didn't vote for Trump because she feared something like this might happen.
A lot of people who voted for Donald Trump lost their jobs now. What do you think about that? What do you want to say to them?
You know, at first I wanted to say, when all this happens, you deserved it. At the same time, they're in the same spot that I am. And I honestly don't think any of us deserved it. It's not even $50,000 a year. You know, it's not that much money. I'm blue collar just like the rest of them in this valley.
In a statement regarding the reinstated employees, a spokesperson for the Treasury Department told us they are weighing how best to consider their performance, Treasury's operational needs, and the Trump administration's government-wide effort to increase efficiency.
Come here, baby.
That's hardly any consolation to Jennifer Piggott and her family.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud and all of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America is going to look like if this continues.
So a Tesla takedown protest in Charlotte, North Carolina seems to be occupied entirely by people over the age of 60. Nothing wrong with being older, but apparently these people, many are holding Nazi signs, Ukrainian flags, and calling for Elon Musk to be deported. What the hell is going on here? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, a bunch of people showed up here. Yeah, what the hell is happening? A bunch of older white liberals that have graduated now are just representing other countries like Ukraine, I guess. Yeah, today was pretty crazy. There was a huge fight. Actually, you know what? I'll show some of it. I'm not going to show the fight, but there was a huge fight. Okay. Apparently people were arguing. Uh-oh. Oh, no way. No way. I don't want to show it because then YouTube will. Okay, what's this?
He's with him.
No, he's not with me. He's not with me.
Watch out! Hey, everybody, look at this guy! This guy right here! Pay attention! Go home! Fucking Rocky!
Oh, snap. What in the... Listen, shout out to all my older folks, man. But what in the world is going on?
In the coming days, there will be complaints from the globalists and the outsourcers and special interests and the fake news. Always, the fake news will always complain. But never forget, every prediction our opponents made about trade for the last 30 years has been proven totally wrong. They were wrong about NAFTA. They were wrong about China. They were wrong about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have been a disaster if I didn't terminate it. If I didn't terminate that, United Auto Workers, you would have had no jobs in this country. You would have had no jobs. It was all going to other countries. In my first term, they said tariffs would crash the economy. Instead, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. And again, I have great respect for President Xi of China, great respect for China, but they were taking tremendous advantage of us, and I commend them for that. I say, hey, if you can get away with it, that's okay. But, they understand exactly what's happening, and they probably, most of them are saying it's about time they did something, but, and they're going to fight, and they're going to fight fair. Everyone's going to fight. It's like, I say to the leaders, look, you got to take care of your country, but we have to start taking care of our country now. We can't do what we've been doing for the last 50 years.
Hey, everybody. Today is April 2nd, 2025, and Trump's calling it Liberation Day. He's rolling out big tariffs on all U.S. trading partners, saying it's time to fix trade and bring jobs back. He claims the haters, globalists, special interests, and the media have been wrong about trade for 30 years. NAFTA? Wrong. China? Wrong. TPP? Wrong. He says his tariffs in his first term didn't crash the economy. They made the best ever. But there's a lot going on. People are freaking out about egg prices and inflation. Could tariffs make that worse? Then there's Social Security. Some worry cuts are coming with Elon Musk's DOGE project, which is all about slashing government spending. Oh, and Tesla, it's under attack, literally. But the stock's still doing pretty good. Protests and vandalism are hitting Musk's company, and Trump's team is calling it domestic terrorism. Musk is stuck in the middle, backing Trump while his business might take a hit from these tariffs. And so Liberation Day is here. And in fact, folks, Trump says it's freedom from bad trade deals, but critics, the Democrats, the left, the mainstream media say it's a recipe for chaos. What do you guys think? Is this a win for America, or are we in for a wild ride? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below.
As you have seen, there have been some experts, some groups, the National Retail Federation among them, who've expressed concerns that it will be U.S. consumers who eventually end up paying for these tariffs. As you know, polling shows that rising prices are voters' biggest concern right now. So I'd ask you to speak directly to them. Will American consumers bear the cost of these tariffs?
I don't believe that American consumers will see any meaningful increase in the prices that they face.
I want to go back to Elon Musk for a second, because, I mean, it is true that he spent $20 million on affiliated groups that were involved in this race. Is it a risk for Republicans to put all their eggs in that basket? Not only did he spend the money, he came to the state. Right. He came to the state. He talked about cutting Medicaid, Social Security through DOGE. Bringing those issues up.
Actually, he never talked. He explicitly said in Green Bay that he would not cut Social Security.
Well,
that's exactly what he said.
Talked at his rallies.
No. Other people said about that, but I was there. I watched him. Okay. He did not say he was going to cut Medicaid.
Other people at his rallies who work for DOGE, who work for Elon Musk's organization, talked about those issues.
No, I was at the rally. Not one of them said that.
That's
what protesters said, but nobody there actually said that.
Do you think that there are risks here?
There are. If people believe the lies that people are saying about that. But that's not at all what they said. If people believe that Medicaid and Medicare is going to be touched, that's just a flat, outright lie. What he talked about are people who are over 120 years old, who clearly are not alive.
Well, the reason I brought it up is
Social Security or Medicare.
Okay, well,
that's totally wrong. I think
just to sort this out, the reason I brought this up is because the claim here is that there's massive, widespread fraud, and that's all they're addressing. That's obviously a disputed claim, because it's not true that 120-year-old people are getting Social Security checks. The checks stop at a certain point automatically, because those checks and balances
but those Social Security numbers get counted for various parts of the federal government. So they don't get a benefit directly to those people, but they count for money that gets allocated to different departments in their budget. And they shouldn't be. If somebody's no longer alive, they shouldn't be able to count that.
I guess my fundamental question was, what are the risks here of Elon dabbling in elections for Republicans going forward?
Well, again, I think in the end, he's going to have to continue to make the case. Part of the reason why, when we talked about our recall, what flipped things for us early on in that recall process, Time magazine called me Dead Man Walker. And the reason was because all the narratives coming out from the press, coming out from the left, were about all these horrible, egregious things. Once we started to give examples of things we were actually doing, not the things the press said, not the things that our opponent said, but the things that we were actually doing, when we ended up going before the voters in the final election in the recall, we actually won by more votes than we did. So I think that what's paramount for him or anyone else aligned with him is keep giving actual examples of what they're doing. Set aside things like Social Security and make it abundantly clear that that's not being touched. But if there's waste, fraud, or abuse, spell it out, make the case, and bring it to the voters.
Which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
We discussed all this.
Like, what is going on with the older folks protesting and fighting? Oh, no.
Randy Kate joins us now. What's next for those federal employees?
Well, Anderson, they're really in limbo as they wait for their case and their reinstatement to be appealed. Since it is on appeal right now, they're not even sure if they're going to have a job to go back to. But in the meantime, the union rep we spoke with said that he believes these firings are actually illegal. He said that the Trump administration was required to give them 60 days notice, which he says they didn't. He also said that the firings were performance-based, and he said these people performed well, their conduct was excellent, and there was no reason to fire them.
Elon Musk and his merry band of government cost cutters speaking out in a group interview. The billionaire calling his mission nothing short of a revolution and claiming those who protest the loudest over, say, potential gaps in Social Security checks are, quote, fraudsters. And it comes at a time that some are displaying their anger at Musk in the form of Molotov cocktails at Tesla dealerships.
And Attorney General Bondi has said the same thing. I believe that is exactly what will happen.
Do you know who they are?
We're coming for them.
Do you know who those generals are?
We know. We do.
Yes. And hopefully the prosecution will be for RICO and an organized criminal enterprise, which makes the penalties even more serious. And now to Jessica.
Yes, absolutely. These are serious crimes where the organizers and pushers of mass violence will go to prison for a very long time.
That's right. Okay.
And I hope they see this segment.
Well, we'll play it again.
Yeah, this interview is so interesting. We have seen a lot of Elon Musk over the last several weeks. What we haven't seen is much of this DOGE team that he's been working with to cut down the size of the federal government. And that was what was so unique here. Seeing these 7 men, they're all men, try and explain what exactly they have been trying to do. Absent, I would note, was Amy Gleason, who the White House says is the acting administrator of DOGE. In a lot of ways, this was something of a public relations exercise as Musk works to explain why he is cutting so many jobs within the federal government. Listen to what he said on that particular topic.
And President Trump's been very clear. It's scalpel, not hatchet, and that's the way it's getting done. You've heard a lot of news about rifts, about people getting fired. At this moment in time, less than 0.15, not 1.5, less than 0.15 of the federal workforce has actually been given a RIF notice. So
they're selected if they're illegal.
It is
basically almost no one's gotten fired.
So Musk says in this interview he wants to reduce the federal deficit by $1 trillion. That's about $4 billion a day. He says in the context of government work, he's working at lightning speed, but that he would like to be going much faster. And he says that he thinks that this will all take 130 days, which, by the way, is exactly the amount of time a special government employee is allowed to serve within the federal government. Elon Musk is a special government employee. We also heard him defend these planned cuts to Social Security, which has been a big question that's been hanging over this DOGE effort. Remember, Musk called Social Security the biggest Ponzi scheme in the federal government. Now he's saying that he thinks that these cuts will actually make things more efficient for Social Security recipients. Listen to what he said on that front.
What we're doing will help their benefits. Legitimate people, as a result of the work of DOGE, will receive more Social Security, not less. I want to emphasize that. As a result of the work of DOGE, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
All right.
I want to emphasize that point and let the record show that I said this, and it will be proven out to be true.
Now, when it comes to these government payments, the message seems to be that they want to make the system work better. You heard from Joe Gebbia, who's the founder of Airbnb, saying that they want this system to be an Apple Store-like experience. Of course, that sounds great in theory. It's all, of course, John, in the execution.
Yeah. You have to go in and make an appointment for 3 days from now, like the Apple Store. All right, Kevin Liptak at the White House. Thank you very much.
So it's okay for the Apple Store to do it, but it's not okay for the SSA? How come there's no outrage with the Apple Store? How come there's no riots, no one vandalizing and throwing Molotov cocktails and shooting up Apple stores and placing incendiary devices inside of Apple stores? How come Tim Cook's not having his feet held to the fire? Bullshit. Bullshit. But I want you guys to go check out a video on anonymous caregiver. I'll put a link in the description. If I remember, we're at roughly 40 minutes. I'll put a link up here, a card, and I'll include it in the end card. It was on a community post on Squirrel Tribe's channel. It was mentioned over on Patreon. And so if you were already a member, you would have already known. But go check it out because she is speaking specifically directly as someone affected by every possibility of every possible change that could come to Social Security, SSA, especially as a caregiver for her mother, and the possibility of having to make in-person visits, which isn't necessarily exactly feasible, okay? It's not impossible, but it's also not ideal. And if you've been anywhere near the internet lately, you've probably seen the headlines screaming about Elon Musk and his so-called departure from DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk backs down. Musk abandons Trump. DOGE falls apart. All that juicy clickbait nonsense. Well, today we're cutting through the noise, exposing the liars, and setting the record straight. Because here's the truth. This isn't some dramatic retreat or failure. It's the law doing its thing. And the clickbait vultures are just feasting on the hype. So grab a snack, hit that like button. Let's dive in. First off, let's talk about why Elon Musk is stepping away from DOGE in May of 2025. And it's not because he's backing down or because the project's imploding, despite what those flashy headlines want you to believe. No, it's because of a little thing called the law. You see, Elon's role in DOGE classifies him as a special government employee, or SGE for short. And this is a real category under U.S. federal rules created back in 1962 that lets the government bring in temporary heavy hitters like Elon Musk for specific short-term gigs. But here's the kicker. SGEs can only work up to 130 days in any 365-day period. That's it. Hard stop. Do the math, folks. Starts from January 20, 2025, when President Trump signed the executive order kicking off DOGE, and 130 days later lands you right about late May. And this isn't a surprise. It's not a scandal. It's just the rules. Now, Elon Musk himself has been upfront about this. He's said on Fox News, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he expects DOGE to wrap up most of its big goals, like slashing $1 trillion from the federal deficit within that 130-day window. That's extremely ambitious and sure, but it's not him waving a white flag. It's him working the timeline that he's got. And as far as President Trump goes, well, he's even hinted at this as well, also, too, saying Elon Musk has a big company to run, or companies, Tesla, SpaceX, you name it, and that he'd keep him as long as he could. And this was always a temporary gig, folks. So why are we seeing all these headlines acting like it's some shocking betrayal? Because clicks. Yeah, that's why. Let me call it out plain and simple. The liars and the grifters out there churning out these garbage headlines are just capitalizing on Elon's name. They know he's a lightning rod, and love him or hate him, he gets attention. And nothing screams viral boost like slapping Elon Musk backs down on a thumbnail with a sad face emoji, but it's pathetic. These people aren't reporting facts. They're peddling drama. They want you to think Elon Musk is running scared, that DOGE is a flop, or that he's ditching Trump because of some imaginary fallout. Falsehood, falsehood, and more falsehood. It's a cheap cash grab, and they're banking on you not digging deeper. Look, I get it. DOGE has been a wild ride. It's stirred up chaos, slashed budgets, and made a lot of people mad. Federal workers are suing, unions are screaming, and some of Elon Musk's moves have even hit legal roadblocks. That's all real, and we can debate whether it's genius or a mess, but painting his May exit as some kind of cowardice or failure, that's where the narrative goes off the rails. The guy's not backing down. He's hitting a legal wall that was there from day one, and if anything, he's pushing harder to get stuff done before that clock runs out. That's not retreat, that's hustle. So, to all you clickbait hustlers out there, yeah, I'm talking to you. The ones with your Musk quits headlines and your fake insider scoops, cut it out. You're not fooling anyone who's paying attention. You're just clogging up the internet with noise while the rest of us are trying to figure out what's actually happening. And to you, the viewers, well, don't fall for it. Check the dates, read the laws, listen to what Elon Musk and President Trump are actually saying. The truth's not as sexy as the headlines, but it's a heck of a lot more real. But either way, that's my take, or at least Grok's take. Elon's leaving Doge in May because the law says he has to, not because he's bailing or buckling. The clickbait crowd can keep spinning their tails, but we're not here for the fairy stories. But what do you guys think? Are these headlines getting out of hand, or is there something I'm missing? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I can't wait to read them all. And if you like this breakdown, like the video, smash the thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next one. I got a lot more coming to you guys that you're not going to want to miss.
Oh, he pushing her. Oh, no, what's going on? Oh, I can't show no more. All right. Oh. Okay. I don't even, this guy has an American flag, so I guess he's mad at those people. So this guy's, I think this guy's a liberal.
We'll help you off the sidewalk and get the fuck out of here. We'll help you out. You ain't being the fuck out.
Oh, so he's a liberal and he came because he was mad at the Trump protesters?
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's just say Tesla takedown day has gone terribly wrong for everybody, especially Jasmine Crockett.
6 years old. What are you doing out here?
What's in your bag? When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. I say, because you've been gracious.
No, I didn't. Huh? Unless you were snatching on me, no, I didn't.
Whoa. Okay, here's the uncensored video. Says the video of a fight that happened today at a Tesla takedown in Tampa. The man in the black shirt allegedly had explosives. Whoa. Well, explosive as if firework explosives, just fireworks, and stink bombs in his backpack. You can see the lighter at the beginning of the video. He also had he's an anti-Elon guy. Again, these anti-Elon people are just so violent. I don't understand it. They're so violent. You guys can go check out this video on Adam Francisco, friend of the show. Yeah, apparently he has the full video. You guys can go check it out. It's the full video right here. Definitely, I would suggest you go check it down. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is it didn't go well. Apparently, Jasmine Crockett and AOC and everybody that hates Trump wanted a day that they can call Tesla takedown day. It was her birthday. That's what she wanted. That was her wish. And her wish was not good. Her wish actually went extremely wrong. Yeah. They got trolled hard, man. They got trolled hard. It looks like the Patriots were outnumbered them. Look at this. Look at this woman. Americans who love Elon and Trump outsmarted all of them and outnumbered all the anti-Elon people and Trump people. Have yourself a day.